In late summer 2023, I found myself back at my childhood's second home, Torbay in Devon. This is a stunning part of the country, Brixham being my favourite place, but I took a drive out to Babbacombe Beach, a small shingle beach that sits between the cliffs at Babbacombe Downs. Despite near 30-degree temperatures and wall-to-wall blue sky all week, the late summer school time and the end of peak season meant that the beaches were quiet. Babbacombe was the same, but something else was noticeably quiet too. This is Babbacombe Cliff Railway. It's short, steep, very old but extremely beautiful, and it's not as unusual as you may think, with over a dozen in operation throughout the UK. Its 220 metres or 722-foot track takes two cars up and down the cliffside, offering spectacular views of the South Devon coast. The track gauge is 5 feet 8 inches, and the rope and pulley driven electric railway has a rated speed of 2.5 metres per second over a 1 in 2.4 gradient. The impressive drive equipment is located at the top station, but what's the history here? The story goes back to 1890 when Sir George Newnes, MP, publisher, founding figure in popular journalism and builder of the Linton Funicular Railway, offered to build a cliff railway to connect the Babbacombe Downs to Oddicombe Beach. The Linton Funicular Railway is a water-powered setup that looks visually similar to Babbacombe that joins the twin towns of Linton and Lynmouth on the rugged coast of North Devon 55 miles away. Unfortunately, Newnes died in 1910 before the project he offered up could be realised. 30 years after the idea, George Croydon Marks, an English engineer, patent agent and disciple of Isambard Kingdom Brunel, began consultation with the Torquay Corporation. His partnership with Newnes from 1890 made him somewhat of an expert on cliff railways, and in 1923 the Torquay Tramways Company announced that it was to install a lift from Babbacombe Downs to Oddicombe Beach. It commissioned Waygood Otis Limited with the engineering and construction of the railway, and work started in December of 1924. The Otis in Waygood Otis is what we still recognise today as a major player in lift technology. The finished Babbacombe Cliff Railway was completed in 1926 at a cost of £15,648. That's the equivalent of £791,400 with today's inflation. On April 1, 1926, the then Mayor of Torquay, Alderman John Taylor, made the inaugural trip on the railway. His ticket number was A000 and was framed in silver by Mr. H. Thomas, the lessee of Oddicombe Beach, and presented to the Mayor. The Torquay Tramway Company worked the line until the 13th of March 1935, when it was taken over by Torquay Corporation for the sum of £18,000. Early returns showed that 192,000 people used the lift that year, which is a whopping average of 526 per day. If we centre most of that around the summer months, the tramway was extremely busy. 1941 saw the line closed and the beach sealed off due to wartime restrictions. It remained closed for 10 years and was in need of extensive refurbishments. J&D Hall of Dartford were commissioned to carry out the works at a cost of £10,000, and the line reopened on the 29th of June 1951. The railway continued to operate for over 40 years before being closed once again in 1993 for track replacement. These works took 2 years to complete. Just 10 years later, the track was replaced once again in the winter of 2005 and into 2006. The cars were also completely replaced and the control gear and doors were refurbished across 2006 and 2007. In July 2009, the ownership of the line was transferred from Torbay Council, which had inherited Torquay Borough Council, to a specially created community interest company. In 2019, this was converted to a charitable incorporated company, which now runs the railway. The two new cars are painted in the original maroon and cream colours, with Torbay's coat of arms on either side of the centre panels. They each carry 40 passengers. A £250,000 refurbishment, which included changing track switches, track bearers, sleepers and updating some of the railway's heritage parts, was well underway when tragedy struck the railway in September 2022. A 79-year-old maintenance engineer suffered serious and fatal injuries in what was described as an industrial accident and died at the scene. The railway was out of action for 10 months after an improvement notice was served by the British Health and Safety Executive. It highlighted serious safety and maintenance failures that were said to have put both passengers and staff at serious risk, according to the news reports. The railway reopened in mid-July 2023 but was once again closed by August due to modern parts being fitted to an old system, which meant that the brakes were activating when they weren't needed. By late summer 2023, it was announced that the engineering works were almost complete and a team of new staff had been recruited. There were some hydraulic and electrical engineering delays during August and September 2023, but the railway finally reopened for business on the 16th of September. At the end of the working day, a bell is sounded at the lower station to advise passengers that the last car is about to leave. So next time you're in sunny Devon, be sure to ride the Babbacombe Cliff Railway. Unfortunately, the footage in this video was shot during this period of closure, and despite the recent engineering issues and the tragic accident that occurred in 2022, the railway has an impeccable safety record and is really fun to ride.